What is up, fellow Cybertronians? Welcome back to the Ian02 channel. My name is Ian, and today we have Transformers Legacy Evolution Armada Universe Megatron. So before we open this box up, let's just have a quick look at it. You have Megatron in front with his robot mode and his tank mode. Megatron at the side, Megatron on the back. Again with the nonsense evolution. You could have done that from the beginning. I don't know why it's called an evolution. And the other Transformers Legacy stuff. Okay, so that's the box. Now let's get this guy opened up. So here is Armada Universe Megatron in his vehicle mode. He's a big green tank, a futuristic looking tank, and yeah, it looks very good. It pays homage to the original design. You can see the robot head here with the pincers. The shape, the details all look really nice. What I like to point out is that despite the tank being symmetrical, the details on the tank is asymmetrical. So it looks really unique. So the left hand side and the right hand side, they don't look the same. So there's a lot of neat looking details on this figure. For articulation, you can move the turret. It has this back guns, which I feel like it's anti-air guns, right? So they can stick out the back, shoot upwards in case of any aircraft attacks. Other than that, you can roll. Everything you think like a tank should be doing. So overall, it's a really good vehicle mode. Definitely a 10 out of 10, considering that this is what he looks like. Let's do a side-by-side comparison with Armada Starscream. I think the sizes are really good. Megatron is just bigger than Starscream. We can also have him alongside Optimus Prime. As you can see, yep, Optimus Prime is a little smaller than Megatron, which is scale accurate. If we add on the giant trailer for Optimus, then he will outsize Megatron. Yeah, these two look really good as vintage pieces from the Armada generation. So overall, yeah, you can also have hot shot, just for size comparisons with the cars in the show. So that is for the comparison. So now let's transform Megatron into his robot mode. So the transformation for his robot mode is really simple, definitely very similar to what he was back in the day. So the first thing you want to do is unpack these two panels, which essentially unpacks the leg from the body. Right. And we can stretch out the leg. Okay. Fold this in. Straighten out the feet. These joints are really tight. Okay. And turn the torso around, and his foot is all done. So the next part is to transform his arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip out these panels over here, exposing the arms. These black boxes at the bottom here, we're going to unpack them and flip them downwards. That gives us space to bring down the arms. Bring down the shoulders, and then we can pull out the arms. this point. His ears are coming undone. Yeah, so his ears are they are soft rubber. And they just peg into the side of his head. Okay, so close the panels. What we can do is open the chest, flip in his faceplate, and there we have Megatron's face. For his arms, you just have to flip it out. He is basically 90% done. Right, so all that's left to do is to flip the turret at the back to its side, and we can move the turret under his arm, just like he would usually have it in the cartoon. Okay, so this is Armada Megatron in his robot mode. So this is Transformers Armada Universe Megatron in his robot mode. And yeah, this is a really good representation of what he was in the Armada series. Down to the very small details, he looks really, really good. What else can we say about his robot mode? He looks very sleek. Right? Definitely the design is very streamlined. You don't see much kibble except for this the tank turret, but there's nothing much you can do about that. Yeah, I like this design. I like it a lot. But anyway, I think it has come to the point where this is all the praise that I can give it. Now it's come to the time for me to complain, because what the hell is going on? I mean, it's 2023, and why do leader class models still have gaps in his arms? I mean, even most Voyager classes now have panels to fill up the gaps in the arms when they fold up. This guy has it. They close up all the gaps. Even Armada Starscream's hand has panels to close the arms. Why did they decide to leave the gaps on Megatron's arms? I have no idea why. Did they run out of budget after, doing all the detail on this figure for some reason? I have no idea why, but they decided to leave the gaps on the arms. So that is a big downside to this figure. Because it's so obvious. It stands out so badly. And you can see the inside of his arms. So yeah, that is a huge downside of this figure. The next thing I would like to talk about is the articulation. The articulation is normal. What you expect from Transformers figures nowadays. Everything is well articulated. The only issue is that his arms cannot go backwards. Right? They can go forward. We can flip up this panel for some extra articulation, but that's about it. So it makes it look very stiff, that his arms can't move even a little bit backwards. It's very hard to get him into dynamic poses, since because of that lag in articulation, it kind of feels like all he can do is stand up straight. Right? So that is another big downside of this figure. I mean, if you look at other figures that have big shoulder pads, they all have some clearance at the back for their arms to move around. But other than that, yeah, all the usual articulations are there. The head is on the ball joint, even though it can't really move up much, but just enough. The arms have the normal motions. You even have a wrist swivel. The legs can move as legs should move, and we have good tight ankle tiltage. So yeah, it's all good for the articulation, except the part where his arms can't move, go backwards, which I think severely hampers its posability. And for my last complaint, just look at the size difference between him and the previous Armada Megatron that we had. Sure, this Armada Megatron is a retool of the Power of the Primes Megatron, but just the size difference is so big. At what point point would we say that this guy is just too small? She should have been considered a Voyager instead. But we all know why he is this size. It's to scale with basically Armada Optimus Prime. But I don't know, to me it just feels like it's too small for it to be considered a leader class. So here we have Armada Starscream alongside Megatron. And yeah, if we are looking at this range of figures, sure, his size matches up really well to the rest of the Armada guys. We can also bring in Armada Optimus Prime without outside of his super mode. Is essentially a Voyager size. And here we have Hot Shot, right, to show the scale of a deluxe class or the car size class as compared to Armada Megatron. And yeah, I guess they really do look good together, so can't complain much there. And last but not least, here we have Optimus Prime in his super robot mode, just towering over the poor Megatron. But I guess that's the scale, the size that it's supposed to be, so it doesn't bother me much. Okay, so that's it for the comparison. So the last few things that Megatron can do is, number one, take this out. You can put this at the back. He can replace his arm, or you can fold in his arm and use this turret as a arm cannon. Pew pew! It's not too bad. At least it sort of fills up the gap in that arm, so we only have one arm left to worry about. Or you can go the full so-called Evo Fusion mode. What you want to do is lift up his arms, fold the cannon to the back, tilt it downwards. I find it easier to just rotate his top half behind and then rotate his waist to get the turret to the front. So fold the turret back in front and put on his arms, and there you go, his Super Evo Fusion Cannon mode, working as intended. Apparently he does this in the show. It's cool, I guess. We can attach some blast effects to make it look extra cool. So that's all I have to say about this figure. I like it a lot, but I can live with the scale of a leader class now being a lot smaller than what it used to be, but I can't really forgive the giant gaps in his arms and the inability to move his hand backwards. It's just too restrictive, which obviously is going to bring down the score of this figure by a lot. So overall, I would give this guy, if there was some way to fix those gaps and the articulation, it would have definitely been a 10 out of 10. But as it stands, I would give this guy maybe like a 7.5 to an 8. That's my review of this figure. That's the score I'm going to give him. I really do hope Hasbro don't do this anymore. I mean, we are paying a leader class figure price. We should have the leader class quality, and this is definitely not leader class quality. Anyway, that's it from me for this video. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe and all that, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Goodbye!